Hey, good evening, card fighters. Hope you're all having a great night tonight. My name is Cassius. I'm the host of Prime Vanguard, and today I'll be doing a deck profile showcase of my favorite Kagero deck, Dragonic Blademaster Souen. Now, before we hop into today's deck profile and showcase, if you guys enjoy these videos, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Do not forget to hit that notification bell so whenever I drop a new video, you guys are the first ones to know about it on my channel. Now, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and showcase this deck on camera too, so let's go ahead and head right onto that. I can't tell you how excited I am to showcase you guys this deck. For those of you that have been following for the channel for a minute, everyone knows that this card right here, Dragonic Blademaster Souen, is one of my favorite grade 3s in Kagero. Now, Dragonic Blademaster Souen is an older grade 3, so I'll explain its effects. It has 2 of them on the Vanguard circle. His first skill states that during your turn, if your opponent has no rear guards, this unit and all of your vision tokens get plus 10,000 power. His other skill is an act ability on the Vanguard circle. Once per turn, you ditch 2 cards from your hand and you call a vision token to the rearguard circle. And at the end of that turn, retire that token. If Wyvern Strike Doha and Wyvern Strike Garran are present on your rearguard circles, retire all of your opponent's rear guards. Vision tokens, for those of you that do not know what they are these little tokens right here that are essentially a carbon copy of the grade 3 that is in play. They have access to Twin Drive when they attack. Dragonic Blademaster Souen, based off its original design, is a later game card. It is Peace Reliance, requiring Wyvern Strike Doha and Garran, who we will showcase later in the deck. But what do I think about this card and how does it play? I've been playing this deck since its original release and its conception, and Souen over the course has always been a very slow, grindy, controlled deck. It will, for discard 2, you're getting essentially a quad drive and a board wipe for 10k power. By nature, you're getting quad drive with a grade 3 who becomes a big attacker. You have the Doha and Garran, and your game plan is very straightforward and very simple. You want to slowly grind your opponent out of their resources by continuously blowing up their field and hitting them with these heavy attacks. The game plan has not changed much for this deck. I will say that with the addition of some of the newer cards from the set, the deck has become a lot more consistent and is able to keep up with your opponent defensively speaking if you play against decks that are faster than it. But as far as its offensive game plan, it unfortunately has not changed much because of Souen's effect and its requirements on the board. Your 2 columns are already taken up with the vision token and your Doha and Garran being in place. And while that's great and everything, it does hurt the deck a little bit because that means that the rest of your deck is going to be tailor-made to fit this specific strategy. And the only card that we got to improve the strategy is the next grade 3 that I'm going to showcase to you guys. I think that Souen's a good card, and I'm going to keep playing with it and keep improving it and seeing where it goes from here. For my next grade 3 and the MVP of the Kagero clan right now, it is 4 copies of Dauntless Dragon. So Dauntless Dragon is a new card introduced to us through V-Clan Collection. It has 3 Vanguard skills, and they all read as the following, which is the first one is, at the end of the battle, your drive check revealed 2 or more normal units. You choose one of your front row rear guards and give it plus 10k. And then on the Vanguard circle, at the end of the battle and attack, if your hand is 4 or more cards, you ditch 3, you restand this. And then its last skill is, when rode upon, you choose one of your Vanguards and it gets all of this card's auto abilities other than this ability until the end of the turn. This card by nature just helps the deck so much more. It gives you an extra turn to fetch out your pieces like your Garrans, your Dohas, have a more offensive push because your Dauntless Dragon is one unit that's going to be a restanding Vanguard you attack with before you ride into the new card and give it all those benefits for your main grade 3. This card giving its first 2 effects onto your Souen with Souen's already main battle skill, which is the 10k, is extremely helpful. It helps you create more numbers to push with. This gives you 6 drive checks because he doesn't minus the drive checks you get. You just ditch the cards from hand, and he gives you extra power in case you miss on all those drive checks, because you're not going to hit triggers every single time, so at least it rewards you for something in case you do miss. It turns your 2 normal units to reveal into 1 trigger, which is extremely helpful again for pushing those numbers. This card is just a staple in this deck. It has made the deck a lot more consistent in its offense, which is something I said was lacking in the beginning of this video for the deck. And for my last grade 3, I'm playing 2 copies of Dragonic Waterfall. So the one thing I will say about Dragonic Waterfall is the fact that Blademaster's biggest issue in the past, and it worked before but doesn't now, was the fact that this deck was a beatdown deck. It was, you do your combo consistently over and over again. You have all these cards that will help you manage resources, draw you pieces, and help you keep your hand fueled and heavy. But now with decks being a lot faster, such as Luard, Gurgwit, Jewel Knight, Prisms, you can't play that sort of beatdown style anymore because those decks, their early game is just too aggressive and their grade 3 turns are just too powerful. They're eating away at your hand a lot. So we needed to put a card in the deck that was a solid finisher. And Waterfall has always just been that. It has always been Kagero's best finisher, in my opinion. Being able to deny a Sentinel, get a 10k and a crit while you're already going Force 2 for most of your games is extremely strong. You can alter your playstyle depending on the matchup where you're playing, where you don't have to go Force 2 and go Force 1 instead for this. But 9 times out of 10, this is the strategy that I am going for, if the game goes on too late. Moving on to my grade 2s, I am playing 4 copies of Wyvern Strike Doha. This is an essential piece of the deck. It's how you get your Blademaster's full effect off so that you can generate the extra vision token and blow up the entire board without minusing from the hand without purpose. It is also one of your deck's main offensive pieces, as its guard restrictability when your opponents have rear guards for normal units means that this is one of the cards you're going to apply your Force 2 onto, so that your opponent has to think about what they guard with when this card attacks. On my next grade 2, I'm playing 4 copies of Dragon Dancer Farja. Dragon Dancer Farja is another staple of the deck. She essentially is a 4-card search for your Wyvern Strike Doha or your Wyvern Strike Garran. This card has the ability to essentially be a filter piece on Vanguard or rearguard circle, and she's a 15k beat stick in the early game or any period where your opponent doesn't have any rear guards. This is one of the cards that if you need to have a little early game pressure, you're going to go into, because she'll be 15k on the Vanguard circle. Well, she'll be 15k on the rearguard circle, and you're going to place it on the rear guard in the early game, so that this way you can filter out your deck for more pieces. Moving on to my last grade 2, I'm playing 2 copies of Torridcannon Dragon. Torridcannon Dragon is, again, another resource management piece. Because of the way the deck works, and because of your front row is already taken up, you're going to be playing a lot of grade 1 support. That's why you're not seeing as many grade 2s as there are in my other Kagero decks for whenever I'm building them. This card is to help you get your extra card draw and cycle out your pieces like your Doha, your Garrans, in case the game goes on too long, or if you drain your hand out too much from your discarding of Souen and Dauntless. He helps you blow some things up, and he also helps you get some more card draw. Now I'm going to move on to the grade 1s, and this is where it gets kind of spicy. I am playing 2 copies of Dragon Dancer Souyja. Dragon Dancer Souyja is a card I've never actually played before in Dragonic Blademaster. I saw it a long time ago, and I never really considered it because there were other things I wanted to play. But with the way that the deck works now, and with your deck's idea and how much discarding you do, she actually has a place in the deck. So if you guys don't know what Souyja is, she has the following effect, which is auto and rearguard circle. When placed, you Soul Blast 1, you choose any number of Wyvern Strike Doha and Wyvern Strike Garran from your drop zone and return them to your deck and shuffle it. She gets 5,000 power to the end of the turn for each card returned. Essentially what this card is you drop her on the board, you take a pair of Doha and Garran together, and shuffle as many pairs back into the deck, and you make her a big beat stick. This card in the later game is amazing because she serves 2 purposes. Her first purpose is, one, if you're just having a bad game and you're Dohans and Garrans, or you're losing them to damage and you're healing them out and you're dropping them because you otherwise won't have enough cards in hand for your skills and you already have your column set up. What she does is she makes it so that you can recycle all those cards back into your deck so that you can gain a huge booster for whatever you need it to be, whether it be boosting your Vanguard or whether it be boosting your Waterfall. She just becomes a really big beat stick that your opponent has to deal with. I'm playing 2 copies of Lava Flow Dragon. This is just your grade 3 searcher for the deck. We play a variety of grade 3s. We have Dauntless, Souen, Waterfall. We want to make sure that we're seeing the grade 3s that we need at the certain times that we need them for. Playing 3 copies of Flame of Hope Aermo. So Flame of Hope Aermo, this card is your generic Kagero countercharger. He makes himself up for your Souen ability. He'll refund you back 1 card. He countercharges. He's a 11k booster. Overall, just a solid generic support card for Kagero. 4 copies of Wyvern Strike Garran. You want to make sure you're maxing out 4 copies of both pairs in the deck, so that this way your Souyja's not power up from having full pairs, and you also want to make sure that you have enough targets in the deck for your Dohas when you want to do your searching out. I'm playing 4 copies of Dragonic Hishat. So Dragonic Hishat is another new card in Blademaster that I haven't played before, and he's another V-Clan Collection card, and he has the following effect. So his first skill is on the rearguard circle. When he's placed, you Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1. You draw a card and choose one of your opponent's back row rearguards and you retire it. Then its other ability is Auto on Vanguard Circle. When rolled upon, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal to 1 grade 3 or greater card from among them, and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. So this card essentially will refund you for the riding into the next card, help you get out your grade 3. This is your main grade 1 ride target besides your Lava Flow Dragon to help you search out for your key pieces that you need. He's also a body on board that lets you draw a card as well. I didn't want to play cards like Sable Dragon You or more Lava Flows that are like a neutral gain. This card is more like a free plus because he refunds himself when you ride, and he thins out your deck more for the grade 3 pieces that we have. Again, like I said with Lava Flow, we play a lot of grade 3s in the deck, Waterfall, Souen, and Dauntless, and you really want to make sure you're seeing your Dauntless early as possible so that this way your strategy is consistent. I am going to go ahead and move on to my trigger lineup. Now, anybody who knows me that plays Kagero, has followed this channel for a long time, knows that whenever it comes to me making Blademaster, I have a very strict formula for him because of his design, and it actually hasn't changed much because of the new cards. I play 6 crit, 6 draw, 4 of the draw PG, and then I play 4 copies of the new Heal Guardian. And while we're on the zeros, I'm going to show my starter 2, which is my Lizard Soldier Conroe. Now that my trigger lineup has shown up, there isn't much to explain here. I feel like with Kagero and the way it is right now, even with a deck like this where you're searching your deck out and you're actually calling pieces, you need to see pieces. You need to specifically see your Wyvern Strike Doha and your Farjas, and you also need to have enough cards in your hand to discard for your Dauntless, your Souens, and the extra draw triggers just help because 9 times out of 10 you're going force 2 anyway, and even on your waterfall games where you might have to go force 1, very rarely does that happen. You just set up your deck and you keep filtering out your deck and drawing into pieces until you see one of your copies of Souyja. You ditch all the Doha and guards in your hand and you make a fat waterfall, and your opponent has to deal with the 3 crit waterfall that they can't Sentinel with a 28k booster most games. The Heal Guardians, these are mandatory. Every deck in the meta right now is faster than you. It's just the truth. Like if you go second against any of these other decks and you're trying to do your Dauntless thing, yeah, the first attack, you're gonna take it, so you can luck out with the damage trigger just to get a counterblast, and you're dropping her right away. You're not gonna waste time. You're trying to save yourself. You're trying to save the cards in your hand. You just want to make sure that your opponent can't hit you or rush over you when you go into your grade 2 turn or when they go to their first grade 3 turn either. Alright you guys, so that is it for today's deck profile. If you guys enjoy seeing videos like these, please let me know now in the comment section below. I really am curious to see what you guys feel about Kagero right now. I have a lot of Kagero deck profiles that I'm dropping this week because I've been playtesting Kagero a lot, and there's just been like these random things that I've been looking into, and I've been trying to find the Kagero deck I really am feeling into right now. Blademaster is my favorite Kagero card. I love the Vision token. I like the idea behind it. I think it's a really cool way to give a G unit its own like support. I'm hoping in the next like V-Clan collection, or at least we get some promos for Kagero that at least help it do something. I know that I've seen the Rebirth stuff. I don't really think that the new Kagero stuff is going to really change this deck at all. It's honestly it's 3 new different decks actually. So I really think that this version of Souen is going to be the best version I can currently make right now, unless further playtesting, which I'll obviously showcase to you guys in a later video. Without further ado, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and start making my showcase video for this Blademaster Souen deck profile for my next video. Stay tuned for that one, but I'll see you later guys, peace.